head coach of the Wright State Raiders, the Horizon League Coach of the Year, and of course in year 2 leading the Raiders to the NCAA tournament for the first time as a head coach. Clint, Coach, appreciate your time as always. I know you're in high demand right now. How are we feeling today?
Doing great, Justin. Doing great. Thanks for having me on, and obviously excited to talk all things Wright State.
So you guys got back late last night. I know everyone's kind of reaching out to you, trying to get a hit with you right now. You're probably getting asked a lot of the same questions. Look, I've been fortunate to kind of have a little bit more of a front court seat, a front row seat to kind of see how the season has kind of progressed as the season has gone on. Look, coming into the year, if you tell me or tell anyone that follows college basketball that you're going to with your lineup, you're going to have a lot of true freshmen getting a lot of heavy minutes. You're going to have a lot of first and second year guys getting heavy minutes. You're in year 2 as a head coach. Things didn't go well last year. Like, you don't really know much about this roster outside of some of the returning players. I don't think people knew what to expect. I don't think we knew what to expect. But here you are, the 1 seed that wins it all, wins the regular season, wins the conference tournament, wins the championship last night. Has it settled in yet? I know there's so many moving parts right now. Has it settled in what you guys truly just accomplished last night?
Not completely. I think that's one of the beautiful things of accomplishing this, at least in my experience. It only gets better with time. And I do think when you're surrounded by great people, that holds true, and that was such a awesome moment for the community of Wright State, our families, our players, and you mentioned a lot of it, Justin. I think coming into the year there was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of speculation, a lot of critics, and understandably so. It was a hard first year, but I do think going through that first year and feeling the pain and misery of losing, it gave me a lot of conviction. Our staff a lot of conviction about what do we need to do differently? I do think it helped me grow into how I'd like to run a program. What do I feel like I need around me in terms of players and the hearts of those players? And then to credit them, they came to us at Wright State when, again, first year, 15 and 18, and they chose to buy into what we were saying. And I do think because of that, it laid a very good foundation of people that were very right-minded, that wanted to be at Wright State, wanted to be with me and our staff for very great reasons. And when that foundation is set, then you can really grow. And I think that's what you've seen throughout the course of the year. I think everybody, October 20th, when we played Ohio, could see, man, we're different. You probably still had plenty of concerns with our scoring. But to just kind of grow through the season, and then, the story of our team is it's always been, our team, and different guys have stepped up at different moments, and we have freshmen, we have older guys, we have Logan Woods, 4th year in the program, and all that speaks to, in my opinion, which I'm thankful for, is a healthy culture where people are getting better, they're improving, and developing, and ultimately that's how I see my job is develop young people. So all that being said, when that's being done at a high level, and then you get the mountaintop moment to celebrate and solidify those memories, now you're really talking about something special.
Look, that's your first NCAA tournament, or your first Horizon League championship win as a head coach, but you've won a few of these. You've been here at Wright State for 10 years now. You've been here a while, and again, you have experience being a part of championship teams here at Wright State. Feel different being the head coach versus being an assistant, a longtime assistant with Scott Nagy all those years? I mean, what was that like, as a head coach doing it after having, so many of these as an assistant coach?
Yeah, I think so. I think you just, when you're leading, you almost develop a sixth sense of just people, and it can be a good and bad thing. I think a lot of it, that's why it drives people insane, sometimes coaches, because you're so aware of the people around you, the good and bad, where they're at emotionally. And that's a great responsibility. And so when you have these very high moments of success and emotion, that's the best part, just very aware of, our family, my wife, Jill, our children, our staff, their families, our administration, and then all the fan base. You really get a great sense of that accomplishment for them and what it does for them. So that was the highlight, and continues to be the highlight for me, is just seeing all those little pockets of celebration for our players, all the hard work, sacrifice, going through doubt, failure, that wrestling match that we all go through to see a moment where they get it forever. Nobody can take what this group did. I think in school history, it's our first outright regular season title combined with the tournament title. And it's, so all that is very special. And as the leader of it, you feel a little bit differently.
Last night, the clock hit 0, and then everything just moves. I mean, everyone rushes the floor. There's the trophy presentation. You're cutting down the nets. You're doing interviews, players' families, your family, everyone running around. Is there a moment last night that just still sticking in your head? Is there a moment where you just sat back, paused, and just kind of took it all in? Is there a moment in the celebration last night? Maybe it was on the bus ride home. Is there a moment last night where you just really sat back and just appreciated everything?
Yeah, there was a few. One getting to show hug Coach Montgomery. It's just like two coaches that going through the grip of this. I'll never forget that, and just an appreciation. He's been a head coach. He's done a great job. Just that moment was real, and just the empathy in that moment, and then obviously seeing my wife right after that, seeing our children, and then once we got in the locker room as a team. Two points. One, I turned and Andre Holden and Aiden Davis hit me with a full, ice bucket, water cooler directly in the face, knocked me over. That would be one. And then to cap it all off, just the moment of prayer with our team right after. We pray before games, after games, staff meetings. And, it's the first thing we did with our team when we met in June. And then to get this moment when you go through all of it and just understand we're healthy, the amount of miles we traveled, the amount of just cutting, planting, diving, hitting, to just be completely healthy, and the amount of gratitude I have to get these moments. So just a lot of appreciation.
You played for Scott Nagy. You coached with Scott Nagy. Obviously, you branch off. You're coaching now on your own. Has Scott reached out to you? Have you had any connection with them since last night? What's that relationship with Coach Nagy still like today?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty steady. Coach, I haven't played for him, and then going through our journey here at Wright State, and this is the thing I love about it with our staff. We spend so much time together. You really go through life in the deepest, most intimate ways is a locker room and just the struggle of it, and to see Coach lead well, the longevity he had, and now kind of stepping out and doing it myself. He stayed close to us and our staff. His time at Wright State was legendary, and I'm thankful to be a part of his coaching tree. And, not only coach, but just the former players. We had a number of former players at the game. And that's kind of the tradition of this place. And that's why I'm thankful to be the leader at this point of our program and for our staff. And coaches played a big part, and so many former players have played a big part. Our administration, President Edwards, you go down the line. It really is a team effort.
TJ Birch, probably I like all your players, but TJ is my favorite to watch play. I think I tweeted this out earlier in the season. I'm like, you don't go to games to watch guys play defense. Like, you go to games to watch guys play offense, but TJ is one of those guys, like, he's fun to watch play defense. I'm just enamored by what he does at the defensive end. And then to watch where his game was offensively at the beginning to where it is now, to match the intensity that he plays with at the defensive end. Talk about his progression and what he meant to this team, to win Defensive Player of the Year, to get all the regular season awards that he was able to garner, and all well earned. But you guys don't have the success you have this year. Yes, for a lot of those parts, but TJ has to be one of those top reasons because of what he does at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, TJ just loves to compete, and I think that for anybody, regardless of what your background in sports is, you can always spot passion and competitive spirit, and he's brought that to our program. He's struck a nerve with me as a younger coach, wanting our teams to play and be that, but how do you do it? And he's led that so well, and I think we've been a great balance for each other. And then you said it, just his development. And coming here from Ball State in the summer, and growing through a ton of just hard days and staying with it. He's so coachable. You know, we always say just the yes face. I stare at these guys' faces every day, and they stare at mine, and he's always just sitting at the edge of his chair, ready for more, and that's how he plays. And I think his mentality is really overtaking our team. And we always say he's the sharpest point of the knife we're trying to play with out there, and he's fearless. And that's something you can speak it over your teams, but that just comes from heart and being unafraid and how he was raised, and certainly thankful to be with him at this point in his career, because he's taught me an awful lot.
Michael Cooper, and of course, you look at him coming in as a true freshman, and he's not the only true freshman you have on this team. You have the freshman of the year, of course, out of the Horizon League in Kellen Pickett. I mean, to see what those two have done, a lot of times, at this level, you'll see good freshmen come in that contribute towards success, but rarely do you get two true freshmen that come in and just take over. And that's what we've seen, and they've gotten better as the season come on. We talked about TJ Birch's development, but Kellen Pickett's development's been pretty phenomenal as well. Everyone's gotten better as the season's progressed. But just talk about that element there where it's tough for true freshmen, especially in today's college basketball, where a lot of high schoolers are being overlooked, in the recruiting world right now. Talk about what they've meant to your team and just where they started and to where they are now along this journey.
Yeah, they've meant an awful lot. Obviously, everybody can see the production and the confidence they play with, but I do think they've just really bought into the culture, and they came, they came to Wright State for relational reasons, for great reasons, and they've really helped me and our staff reshape the locker room. And then I think, just they were unbelievable in the summer. Their June and July, the consistency in which they played with, how they did conditioning, how they hit the weight room. I think they earned the respect of everybody in the summer. And then that gave them a foundation to then enter into the fall with the peer-to-peer respect. Obviously, they had the attention of our staff. And then as you go through the fall, sometimes you can hit the wall that most freshmen hit, just because the workload is so much higher than what you see in high school, the intensity, the physicality, but they really never hit it. And, that's a credit to them, their high school, their coaches, Coach Roth and Coach Wilk, their parents, the upbringing. And then I keep saying, I just think our leaders, the seniors, the older guys on our team, deserve a ton of credit for creating an environment where those guys know they can come in, play confidently, fail, and still be just respected and welcomed and going to be encouraged to go out there and cut it loose again. And I think for all those reasons, they're having success, but many of our guys, because we have a number of young guys, Andre Holden, Solomon Callahan, TJ Birch, Dominic Pangonis, they're all sophomores. So you really go down the line and you're seeing that no matter how old you are. I just think that speaks to the healthiness of the culture.
Selection Sunday coming up. A lot of conference tournaments still going on right now. Kind of like the Horizon League's conference tournament being when it is a little. I mean, especially you win it, you kind of got to you get a longer period of time to take it in. Some of these conferences, they crown their champion on the day of, then they turn their attention right towards Selection Sunday, and then it's the hustle and bustle of got to get to wherever site you're going to be playing at. You get a little bit more time to take it in, but have a few more days now to take this all in before Selection Sunday when you find out who you play. Just what does Selection Sunday mean to you as a coach who's experienced these in the past as a player and an assistant, but now as a head coach getting to head into a Selection Sunday? What are those nerves like sitting back, just getting to see kind of what's all transpiring?
Yeah. You said, I don't know if there's a better time frame. I don't know if there's, obviously I've never been to a Final Four as a coach, but the window between winning your conference tournament as a mid-major coach and then having that time in between, knowing you're in and you're waiting to Selection Sunday, I don't know if it gets much better because you get a little bit of a reprieve from the grip of it. You don't have an opponent. Obviously, you're going to continue to practice, but the season is so long and hard, and the pressure of it, you just don't ever really get a time to take a little inventory and appreciate where you're at, let alone enjoy the rest of what's going on. And this is one of those perfect windows where we get to sit back and enjoy and look backwards a little bit, show some appreciation and gratitude. And then when Sunday comes and we know who we play, then that pressure, the grip you speak of, then that pops back up and it's go time. But this week, you can kind of take a little bit of a break, give them a couple days, and enjoy watching the rest of the games, and then you get dialed in on Sunday.
Last thing, Coach, on the way out, again, if you're just joining us, it's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. Clint Sargent, head coach of the Raiders, Wright State, punched their ticket last night, knocking off Detroit 66-63. The final, they have now advanced to their 5th NCAA Tournament appearance in program history. But, lots also made about, the traditional, conference tournament site locations, playing in Indianapolis or a chance to play at the Nutter Center in front of the fans. I did think last night was pretty unique. You guys have been to that final quite a few times, and the fans have always done a good job showing up. But I thought the fans that showed up in the semifinal against NKU and that rival matchup there, and the fans that stayed or came back for last night's championship, that place was loud last night. That was just a wall and sea of green. It was very cool seeing this fan base continue to grow and continue to come out and show out. How special was that last night to sit back, obviously see your players accomplish what they did, but to see the community and just to see the fan base grow and come out and support this team?
It's the best. I mean, our fan base deserves it. I'd say the last 3-4 years have been incredibly difficult for a proud fan base that expects to win, that understands the Wright State brand. I mean, the people that wear our brand and walk with us through it are the best of the best. And certainly I know that 10 years and what they've done for me and my family. So you get those moments to go for it all with them and to have them show up. And I thought in terms of environment, it was incredible. And for them to just be steady with us throughout the year, even through last year for me, again, having that appreciation and understanding of dark days a little bit, and now having some brighter days makes it all the more special.
All right, good stuff. Coach, I appreciate your time. I know it's just constant, moving parts here. Thank you for giving us some time today. Congratulations, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Thanks, Justin.